And hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and I laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we will arise, we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord. They shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the border of Israel. Now, I'm a little embarrassed to tell you that I only have 2 points in my sermon. It doesn't seem right, does it? Let me tell you what the first point is and see if you can guess what the second point shall be. Point number 1 is, Jacob have I loved. And point number 2 is, now, for Kentucky Saints, you all are above average. Now, tell me this. Why would the preacher bother to preach on that statement, Esau have I hated? Why would you do that? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because it's in this text. That's why. I've learned something years ago about Bible preaching. Bible preaching is not where you read a text and depart from it and never more return. That's what Benny Hinn and Kenneth Copeland did. That's not Bible preaching. Nor is Bible preaching telling one story on top of another story, on top of another story. That's skyscraper preaching. It's not Bible preaching, it's storytelling. Bible preaching is where you read a passage of Scripture and give a good faith effort to explain and expose and elucidate the principles and the precepts and the promises contained in that portion of Scripture. Does that make any sense to you all? And so, since both of these statements are in our passage, I shall do my best to preach on both of these. Now here's item number 1. Jacob have I loved. Now I want to do 2 things. First, I want to give you the meaning and then the manner in which God loved Jacob. What does this mean? Jacob have I loved. The love spoken of here is the kind of love that sacrifices on behalf of the beloved. It means that by an act of His will, God singled Jacob out and set him up to be